guys, I hope you're having a good day today. I'm going to try something a little bit different. I have my camera put up on a little ledge and I'm hoping that that'll allow you to see what I'm doing here. This may be a little bit boring, this might be great, I don't know. And so I just decided, well, I'm going to film while I do it, and if it helps someone, great. This was a big pot of cuttings that I just jammed in. I have about 3 or 4 pots like this. I ordered a big box of cuttings to do something with last May, the beginning of May, and it is the middle of January right now. So last May I ordered a bunch of cuttings, and they had a problem with shipping, and they came, the wrong ones came first, and they were dead, and then it got delayed, and it was just really confusing. And by the time I actually got my cuttings, I was so sick that I couldn't do anything with them but jam them all into a pot. And so I kind of grouped them by color, mostly on the pots upstairs, and this was the pot that was all of the leftovers that didn't really fit anywhere. So I had most of the gray bluish ones in a pot, and then a lot of the darker green ones in a pot, and figured they would just root or not, and I would check them whenever I'm able. Well, I'm able, and I need to check these guys and pull them out, repot them separately, some of them, and regroup them with their mates, some of them. And I thought I would just do that here, because if you don't, if you've never seen kind of cuttings undone, it can be a little bit confusing. Now these guys are doing really well. They're huge compared to what they were when I planted them, so obviously that's a great sign. You can see on this one here, there's lots of dead leaves, and that's just because they've been sadly neglected and not watered most all of the time since May, I am sad to say. So my very sweet husband goes up. They've been upstairs in the grow tent, and he goes up and waters every couple weeks for me when I can't get up the stairs, and so he has kept them alive. But out in the summer they were outside on my porch with all of everything, which is a big sunny porch with huge windows, and they just did not get nearly enough water or babying for cutting. So I'm going to start by pulling some of these leaves off so that I can get a good grab around this stem. These are aeoniums, for anyone wondering, and I'm not sure exactly what kind these are. I'm not a huge aeonium person. I think they're gorgeous. I just haven't had a ton of them. There's been so many other plants that I would rather have that I've gone after. So I haven't had a ton of them, so I'm not super up on the names of all of these guys yet. All right, so we'll just take a chunk out here. And I'm just gonna gently get in here with my fingers and start separating these guys out. There's one. I'm gonna clean up the dead leaves. This is a little kiwi, it looks like, aeonium. And I'm guessing there's going to be several, so I'm going to pot them up together until I have a pot that looks like what I want it to, because I'm not doing any arrangements right now. So these are just going to go potted up until such a time as I wish to use them. While I'm potting them up, I'm looking and making sure there's no mealybugs or anything like that. There's a few little fuzzy places, but I don't see any bugs. So that is a good sign. Looks like maybe they had a mealybug or two in the past, because there's definitely some signs of them, but no bugs. All right. So with these guys, you can plant them however deep you want. So I'm going to remove a few of these bottom leaves since this bottom stem is all stretched out, so that I can plant them up just a little bit. Not sure what this guy is. I'm assuming it's a type of echeveria that got stretched out, or it was a long cutting whenever I had it and it just didn't root all the way. That's going to go in a different pot. And a lot of these guys, their leaves will possibly make babies, some of them not. It just depends on the variety. I've seen people being like, what is wrong with me? I've tried and tried and tried to make leaf babies and they just won't do, and they work for everyone else. Well, it may be the variety that is the problem. Some of them, no matter what you do, like aloe vera, they don't propagate by leaf. And once in a great while, there will be a freak leaf that will, you know, have a piece of something and grow, and then people will be like, no, it's true, you can start them from leaves. But just because once in a great while a plant does something out of the norm doesn't mean that that should be expected. Alrighty, so I got this guy cleaned up here, and you can see he's got some babies coming on the stem. So either I can plant him and leave his stems out, which is probably what I'm going to do, and let these babies develop, because there's going to be a couple others I think that I'll add in the pot here. Or you can bury the stem if you want, and they'll grow up from there and they'll root more. Get this guy where you won't tip over. All right, I'm going to lift you back up again for just a second and get another hunk out here. See what else we can find. This guy looks like a very, well, the sun is, it's white, it's very albino. Probably getting too much light, whatever it is. Or it's possible it was completely covered up and not getting enough, but whatever it is, it's a very, very interesting white little color, probably a sedum of some variety. Like I said, this was just all the extras of random pieces and parts that I poked in here. Alrighty, this guy here looks like maybe a graptosedum or something of some variety. He'll just go in here and wait while I'm trying to get these bigger guys. This guy, I have no idea what this guy is. Looks like some type of an echeveria also. And I'm probably going to end up just taking these leaves off. I always throw them in my propagation tray, because why not, right? You might wind up with some cool babies. And if not, oh well. These weren't going to be... And these are all saggy like this from being dehydrated, because like I said, they haven't exactly gotten TLC. And then they're stretched out because when they were brought in for the winter, there was a little bit of time period between them getting under a light. They were in the garage for a while and etiolated a bit. So I took most of those leaves off because these are just sad and a little bit wilty. And I'm going to plant this in I may end up cutting it off, planting the end. This should produce some more babies, and then this guy will reroot for me in a nicer, more dense format. So I am probably going to perform surgery on him. But I don't want this video to be hours and hours long, so we'll keep moving along. Again, removing the dead leaves, which hopefully if you're actually paying attention and taking care of your plants, you won't have this many dead leaves. But I wanted to show you this in its original form, or neglected form, I should say, because really as sad and scary as it can look, these guys are so hardy, and they will perk up with a little bit of TLC and the dead leaves removed. I see, you know, a few leaves on a plant dying, and people are going, oh no, what's happening to my plant? I'm losing it. But most of the time, you don't need to panic. Just clean that guy up. He's gonna go right over here. Most of the time, these guys can really perk up. This is a little, looks like a California sunset sedum or something. And can't tell if this is, yep, I think this guy's alive. He just got some dead, and he was kind of pulled out of the dirt. This is a dark type of aeonium, but it has a little bit of root, so I'll go ahead and put that in the seeding tray also. Another very etiolated echeveria of some variety. And some of these were in pretty bad shape when I got them, and some of them, because it was just a huge box of cuttings, but I don't want anything to waste, so I planted every last one of them. But as you can see, that's not a great rosette shape. I'll probably end up peeling back the leaves, cutting this off, letting new sprouts come out of the roots, and repotting the top. This is a little jade, and there's a mealybug. Let's see if this is old. Nope, that is a fresh mealybug. For whatever reason, little jades seem to attract these guys. So this guy is going to go over in a different section here that you can't see, where he is set aside to have a bath and make sure he's all free and clear of any mealies, which all of these will have a bath, but this has like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's like almost sunburnt, which it may be. It may well be sunburnt here. But that will go in a starter tray too. Not a real big pretty plant that I'm super excited about yet. These are little starts of a jelly bean plants. I forget what the actual, I've never actually really had many of these guys, so I don't know what their actual name is off of the top of my head. This looks like some type of echeveria. It was. I don't even think I'm gonna save this stem. This isn't a type that I'm super fond of. I'm blanking out on the name, but I just have so many starts and many more pots of starts, so I'm not gonna mess with trying to baby those until they want to come back around. Some more jelly bean stems here, as you can see. Sorry you guys, I can't quite tell what is good and what is bad for the view here. It's another little aeonium stem. Got quite a few in my seed tray that are starting or rooting of some variety, so those will just go in with my others, little tiny aeonium babies. Some type of sedum, graptosedum, etc. Again, I'm just gonna pull these leaves off, throw them in a rooting tray, get it back up to a nice firm or dense little cluster like that. I'm gonna snip him off, plant the top, and I'll plant the bottom also, because they a lot of times will shoot up a few more babies. And if you've ever messed with these lovely little jelly bean plants, I think they're a type of sedum if I'm not crazy, the leaves fall off ridiculously fast, which they also root ridiculously fast, but these guys are a little bit more finicky on their roots. Got another little piece of jade here. He's going to go over with the other guy, and another aeonium here. This stem is all curling around. He's got some good roots on him. Yay! It's always exciting. Okay. Really healthy roots. I'm not going to break a ton of the soil off. I'm just looking for mealybugs because I see a cluster here hiding. Well, they're not really hiding now, but you can see these right here. I hope. Sorry, I can't tell if the sun is glaring too much or not. A little pile. And these guys that are having mealybug issues, they are having mealybug issues because they're stressed, for one, and for two, because they're inside a grow tent where I didn't have any of my other plants that attract the bugs and keeps them away like I usually do, because I was using them all elsewhere. And so these guys have just attracted some bugs, so I'm going to be using a systemic pesticide on these guys, because they're just, they're needing a little bit of TLC. So I'm not going to make them suffer any longer. Alrighty. Almost done here. Looks like another little sedum of some variety, or graptosedum. For anyone that doesn't know, graptosedums are just Graptivaria and sedum hybrids or crosses. And alrighty, now I got two more here. This guy, he needs to have these branches rooted instead of this base. This base is a goner. So, but this guy, I believe, is no, I just spaced out on the name now. It's like one of the tails. It's a monkey tail, rat tail, you know, something tail, but it's not either one of those. I'm just spacing out. But these guys will go in a little pot of their own. I have another stem or two cuttings in different trays that will go together with it. Now this guy, I just looked up the name on this a few months ago, and oh, it's really wrapped up with this guy. I'm going to have to dislodge his roots just a little bit. There we go. But he was just a little cutting about this big. You can see how much he's grown. Yay. Great root system. I love these guys, and I'm totally spacing on the name right now, you guys. I'm sorry. I will try and put it in words over the screen when I edit this, because I am just spacing out right now. But he is looking great. And this last guy is some variety of, they usually call them ice plants here, but I wouldn't call this an ice plant myself. But I'm not sure what the, I've never had one of these guys before. I'm not sure. They look like kind of stripy green beans. But he's got a nice little root system and a nice long, I'm going to plant this, and then I'm going to wrap him back around and pin him to the ground in a couple places so that he will root out and then can branch out from there. So kind of like this, and fold it back and make a little paper clip or a little wire U, and just pin it down to the dirt in a couple of places so that it will root and not just have roots all the way at the end. That way if something breaks off, A, it'll be rooted, and B, it'll just give me a bit more of a dense space for it to come out from. So this guy I will pot up then. Alrighty, that's it for this first pot, and I don't want the video to go on for days and days, so I'm gonna close there. I have a couple more to do, so I will see you guys soon, and until then, happy growing.